Welcome back to the Tracy Take. I am Tyler here with my brother Ryan, and today we are doing the Tennessee Titans 3-round mock draft. We did a full 3-round mock draft for all 32 teams, and these will be the Titan selections. But before we do that, we have a super fun announcement. We have partnered with BetUS. They're our first sponsor here. And so if you like, put a couple bucks down on the game that you're watching here, hit the link down below. They're doing 125% match for all first-time new players to the site. So they have a lot of fun games from football, March Madness is going on right now, or even the Kentucky Derby and Triple Crown races are coming up here real soon. So if you want to put a couple bucks down on these games, hit the link down below, get 125% match for all first-time players. Ryan, that being said, let's pull up the Titans mock draft. So we want to start off a little bit here on what the Titans have done so far. And as you can tell, this is going to be a brand new team for Tennessee next year. So they made a lot of great additions. I mean, Calvin Ridley, first off, I think Tony Pollard, I think he's going to fit well. I think him and Tajay Spears are going to be a great complement to one another. He is no Derrick Henry, who has since moved on. I lived in Nashville for about 6 years, and it was a lot of fun when Derrick Henry was at his peak and at his prime. Fan favorite overall. I wish him nothing but the best in Baltimore. So I live down in Atlanta now, so good luck until you play the Falcons. So, and then if that happens, actually, that'd be crazy. So, anyways, back to the Titans here. I think some of the biggest things that I've noticed, though, are their additions on the offensive line as well. That's going to be a key theme here, especially the moments we get to that first pick. We're getting a guy like Cushenberry, kind of start trying to solidify the offensive line as much as possible. Then with Sadiq Charles as well, just more players there going to the interior offensive line. There have been other additions also that we just haven't included here. These are the more notable ones. And the most recent one, too, probably you can make an argument the biggest, but getting L'Jarius Sneed from Kansas City, just as long as I can remember, the Titans secondary has not been good. And what really has helped them out a bunch has been that front seven. Also, Mike Vrabel as a head coach. So that actually could be a new addition that we could say a departure as the new head coach as well for Tennessee and the departure of Mike Vrabel. But they did lose some key pieces, primarily on the defensive side of the ball. Danico Autry went to Houston. Azeez Al-Shaair went to Houston, staying in the division, which is going to be interesting to see. Sean Murphy-Bunting and also Kayvon Wallace left as well. So some other key secondary pieces. So they added to the interior offensive line. They lost some on the defensive line and in the secondary. Which of these you think is probably the biggest addition or departure for the Tennessee Titans?
The biggest addition to me is L'Jarius Sneed. I think Calvin Ridley is a really solid addition. They probably overpaid him a little bit. Not a ton, but he is a 29-year-old wide receiver. L'Jarius Sneed is a cornerback, a top all-pro cornerback in the prime of his career. And really, they didn't give up that much. Like a third and a conditional fifth, I think, was the price. And I mean, I would pay that in an instant for a player of his caliber. The biggest loss to me is Danico Autry. They did bring in Kenneth Murray, and actually, I guess that's it for the front seven. But losing the pass rush that Danico Autry brought to the table, I think, was a pretty big loss there. And he's just a really solid player for them. So let's get into our picks here for the Tennessee Titans. And I feel like this one has just kind of become like everybody is doing this because it makes so much sense now, especially with Brian Callahan as the new head coach, offensive line guru. And to me, you go get Joe Alt. You have Joe Alt at left tackle, Peter Skronsky at left guard, Lloyd Cushenberry at center, right? And those three spots are locked down for the next 4 or 5 years. You don't have to worry about that. That is the offensive line that you want in front of Will Levis. And that is just a super, super solid pick. And if you watch the channel, I'm a huge fan of Joe Alt. To me, everyone talks about how Marvin Harrison Jr. is this generational prospect, and Joe Alt is that, but for left tackles. He's only 20 years old. He'll be 21, I think, by the time the season comes around, but he'll be with this franchise for the next 10, 12 years, barring significant injury, which I hope does not happen.
Well, it's even got, if you go check out my mock draft, which came out on Monday today, so go check out that video after this one. But I even think, too, just to say, if there's going to be a team that wants to trade back as well and just get a couple extra picks, but guarantee themselves still a wide receiver, whether that be Arizona, Los Angeles Chargers, New York Giants, or maybe even the Patriots, if I could see the Titans moving up a couple spots just to guarantee they get Joe Alt. Because I could even, I was just sitting here and being like, could I make an argument for Brock Bowers? Could I make an argument for maybe an edge rusher since they lost the Nico Autry as well, or could I make an argument if a receiver falls to them? And I'm sitting here thinking, it's like, I still just think Joe Alt is better than all those options. Like, as great of a generational talent Brock Bowers is, Joe Alt is that much more generational.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's nothing against Brock Bowers. Like, he's one of the best prospects that we've seen in a long time. I think Joe Alt's just that much better. So that's where I could even see the Titans potentially trading up, giving up a day 3 pick just to move up to 6 or 5, just to guarantee that they get Joe Alt. And then to your point, then that offensive line is solidified. And especially, too, it was week 17 when Will Levis
got rolled up on.
Got rolled up.
Yeah.
And I thought he shattered his leg. I thought it just absolutely got destroyed. It's going to be a long offseason for him. But you look at, if they add him here and the offensive line pieces that you already mentioned, then you throw in Calvin Ridley and now DeAndre Hopkins, 2 veteran receivers. Then they did sign Nick Westbrook-Ikhine, re-sign him. And he's been just a consistent veteran receiver, that the team's been able to rely on. It's offensive weapon-wise now. You can start to put this team up there as the above average offensive team.
Yeah, definitely. So let's move on now to their second and final pick in this 3-round mock draft. And I will say this pick was made before the L'Jarius Sneed trade. However, I do still like this pick because L'Jarius Sneed is going to be your number 1 outside corner. Mike Sanderstill is probably going to end up kicking in to be a nickel slot corner safety type, which I still don't think that this team has and really needs. So I do still like this pick. He's going to be a great leader in the locker room as well. He's just a really solid, versatile player. He was the team captain at Michigan, and with all the guys in this draft class that are coming from Michigan, this was the guy that they looked up to on the defensive side of the ball. So I think just on and off the field, this is a fantastic pick. I could definitely see them maybe going with a Chris Braswell or an Adisa Isaac, especially with the loss of Danico Autry. But I will say, I think you go and you look at maybe round 4 and 5. Maybe you have a project player that you like in that realm. So
yeah, they did also pick up I'm going to mispronounce the name, Chidobe Awuzie from Cincinnati. They signed him there. We had him on the list. But to your point, though, he's just going to be one great locker room presence, just with the leadership capabilities, but also just a different type of corner. And in today's modern day NFL, a lot of them have 11 personnel. So like they're going to have 3 wide receivers out there, and that nickel corner is going to be a spot that you really need to hone in on. I know they have Roger McCreary that they drafted in 2022, but I don't think you can have enough of those guys. And maybe even as well, if it doesn't pan out, maybe like you can move them into a safety position and just kind of go and see. But to your point, though, I think with the second pick, and since they only have 2 picks in the top 100, they could probably go defensive line here as well. Or if they want just a tight end position, Jatavian Sanders was there as well in our draft. So a lot of different options. But I already think the Titans have absolutely dominated this free agency. I think that you could give them an A++ if they hit these first 2 picks out of the park, which Joe Holt's sitting right there for them. And that's where I think just go and guarantee your guy. Like what's a 5th round pick to you, if we're being honest? Like you have to see how much you have to move up. But just to guarantee you get that guy, and you don't have a team like the New York Jets or somebody coming up who like really needs like a left tackle, I would say why not? Just go get the guy.
Yeah, and that to me, I think, is even if maybe you do like a 2nd round pick swap, right? One of those teams has a later second, like move back in the 2nd, move up in the 1st a couple spots. Like to me, I think a lot of what the Titans have done already has been fantastic. They improved that wide receiver room, which they needed to do. That cornerback room got tremendously better with L'Jarius Sneed. So I'm really impressed with what the Titans have done so far. I bet Mike Vrabel is extremely upset that they wouldn't do this when he was there.
I think a lot of people are.
That's very fair. So
a lot of people didn't get that.
Yeah, but let's go ahead and wrap up this video here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below on what you thought of this Titans 3-round mock draft. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you do differently? And other than that, we will see you guys next time.